And joining me now this morning is former U.S. Congressman Luis Gutierrez and Billy Ocasio, the president and CEO of the National Puerto Rican Museum, which is a member of the Puerto Rican Agenda, now helping out. Good morning to the both of you. Thank you so much for taking some time out.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I do want to start with our former congressman. I know you left Puerto Rico last week and just hours before Fiona hit. Can you tell us a little more about how things were for people there 5 years after Maria, just hours before Fiona?
First of all, you need to understand they never fixed the electrical grid after 5 years. This is the most technically advanced country in the world, the richest country in the world, and we didn't fix that grid. And that is part of the failure and the death and the devastation on the island of Puerto Rico. Number two, I am now a resident of the state of Illinois, but I lived there for 2 years. Outages are frequent and common, and the water goes and comes. And Judy, I just want you to understand something. Now everything is run by diesel. An island that has so much sun that it can capture to generate energy, so much wind, and so many waves off its coast, has never used that technology to run its electrical system. This is part of the problem, the incompetence of the government. And there's $1 billion sitting in the federal treasury, yet unused.
So the infrastructure was never fully repaired, and then Fiona hit. Mr. Ocasio, what are you hearing from people in Puerto Rico about conditions right now, roughly a week now after the storm?
Well, as the congressman said, you know, the outages are still continuing. They're lasting longer. And most of the island still doesn't have power, you know, and not only power, but running water. I think that, you know, federal government, yes, Biden said he's going to do these sorts of things, but, you know, they've already invested. FEMA has invested about $5 billion into fixing the grid. And here we are 5 years later doing the same thing over and over again. People on the island need help, and people are getting tired of being treated as second-class citizens when we are American citizens.
Well, let's talk about the federal response right now and bringing it back to the former congressman. As you know, President Biden just a few days ago announced the U.S. will cover now 100% of cleanup costs for the next month. Doesn't seem like a long time. And also the Secretary of Health and Human Services declared a public health emergency for Puerto Rico, freeing up more federal funds. What more do you think the federal government should do? And you were there during the response to Maria, and it still wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough because, number one, there is an inefficiency and an incompetency on the part of the local government to respond to this, number one. But number two, where is the federal oversight? I am so happy we have Jesus Garcia as our congressman from the city of Chicago, and that Delia Ramirez will hopefully join him, because I know they are committed to ensuring that there is oversight and there is planning, and they will ask the correct questions at the federal level, and from our senators too. I think that's where we need to focus. And I just want to say to the people of Puerto Rico and reiterate what former Alderman Billy Ocasio just said. Most people still don't have electricity 1 week after the hurricane hit the island of Puerto Rico. And when you ask about water, why? Because now the water grid is supplied through generators. Generators need diesel. Now you're going to have to share the diesel that runs the general grid of electricity with all of the generators that run the water system in Puerto Rico, and all the supermarkets and all of the hospitals. There could be a crisis of a lack of diesel, and when that happens, there is a total shutdown, and they did not prepare for that.
It is so hard to fathom. I do want to talk about the public help. Mr. Ocasio, the Puerto Rican Agenda, as we mentioned, responded to Hurricane Maria in 2017, delivering supplies to the island. How can people help right now?
Well, you know, we all have family there. Everybody's going through these difficult times. My mother-in-law, for instance, lives in a senior home. They don't have power. They're running off of generators. And so everybody in the Puerto Rican Agenda and with the Puerto Rican Cultural Center, and let me let you know that we all coordinate our efforts. When it comes to these sorts of things, it doesn't matter what we may feel about each other and those sorts of things. The community comes together. The Puerto Rican community is stepping forward. They are doing fundraisers. I could give you one. We're a member of the Puerto Rican Agenda, and we are doing a fundraiser where the Think Foundation out of Puerto Rico is going to match dollar for dollar everything we raise here. That's one thing. And then next Wednesday, we have the Chicago Chefs Cook. It's an organization of all the chefs in the city of Chicago. They're going to do a fundraiser here at the museum to raise funds for Puerto Rico, along with the World Central Kitchen. We are trying to do everything we can to make sure, and I know that Chicagoans are going to step forward. The Puerto Rican agenda is going to deliver as they always have.
All right, we will continue to pass along that information so the public can jump in and help. Mr. Ocasio, Congressman, thank you so much for your time this morning.
And thank you to all of the non-Puerto Rican community. Thank you to everybody in Chicago. You've been wonderful for the island of Puerto Rico. Thank you so much for your generosity.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And after a short break here, we will talk about how you and your family can prepare and protect yourselves in case of a disaster.